Right. Welcome to the new episode of the GTM Rapidfire. The format, as usual, is very simple. Five questions, short and sweet, and yet we try to uncover the secrets of PMM from the leaders. Today, we have a really special guest joining us. As you might have known him from his LinkedIn posts, we have Jonathan Pipek with us. Jonathan is the founder of Blue Manta Consulting. He does GTM and product marketing for B2B SaaS startups and is also one of the top 100 product marketing influencers amongst many other roles and titles. Jonathan, I'd like to put the spotlight on you and let you tell more about yourself to us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on, Ritik. I appreciate it. I think you did a great job, summarizing. Like you mentioned, I run Blue Manta Consulting. I do mentoring through quite a few different sources, but through 1871, which is a local Chicago kind of innovation center and startup accelerator, through ADP List, where I mentor individual product marketers, and then run my business as well. So yeah, excited to be here, and thanks so much for having me on.
Yes, thank you for that. And I'll jump right into it. If you had to start over your career and build a career in PMM right now in the current market with everything that's happening, how would you do it? What are your tips and what have you learned till now? Yes.
Ooh, that is a tough question because the market is not a good one right now.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I think two things. One, the market's pretty terrible right now, like just the job market for product marketers generally. But then on top of that, if you're talking about starting your career in product marketing, there's just not a lot of entry-level product marketing roles, even when the market's good. Um, because I think we've all kind of heard the cliche that most product marketers get into product marketing from a different source, which means they're not usually entry level. They're usually like a salesperson that becomes a product marketer, or a marketing, generalist, or a demand gen marketer, or content marketer that becomes a product marketer. So entry level product marketing roles are really, really competitive. I think what I'd probably recommend for folks who want to get into product marketing is to take a slightly um, counterintuitive approach. So rather than going for a product marketing role, I would focus on what industry and what company size are you most interested in. Number one. Number two, select only high growth companies. Make sure they have at least one or two product marketers. And then what I would do is apply for kind of a more general entry level marketing role. So maybe like a marketing coordinator, kind of again a general kind of B2B marketing role for the next 6 months, bust my butt, do everything I can to be the best, coordinator possible. Start volunteering with the product marketing team and say, hey, I'd love to help you with, XYZ thing. Maybe it's sales collateral, maybe it's I don't know, email campaign, etc. And basically, as you take on more and more product marketing projects, you kind of start hinting to your manager and to the product marketing team's leadership, like, hey, I'm interested in product marketing and making the transition. If these opportunities come up, I'd love to be considered. Um, this is an approach that's probably going to take, depending on the company and how fast it's growing, I'd say like 6 months to 18 months, but eventually, leads you to the product marketing role versus I think applying to entry level roles, like you're applying to very few and the competition's wild. It's just not as easy to do. So that's probably the approach I'd take.
Yes, that's really helpful. A follow-up on that is, a lot of people have this question, like, because product marketing is very different for different organizations, right? In that case, and we don't really have like a specific course or like a specific degree that you can get to become a product marketer. But are there anything that, like, is there anything that I can do if I were looking out for something to just upskill myself? Would you recommend getting a degree? Would you recommend getting some courses or anything that you would recommend?
Yeah, so you're definitely right. Like, there's no kind of nobody goes to school for product marketing, right? Sort of like what Exit 5 says about nobody goes to school for B2B marketing, right? Um, I think there's a few things. One, April Dunford is kind of the well-known kind of goat for product marketing. So reading her books, right, obviously awesome. And sales pitch, so starting there. Emma Stratton came out with Punchy, right, for copywriting and kind of thinking about messaging. So another great place to start. So I'd start kind of with those fundamental books. I'd get involved with Product Marketing Alliance, kind of your local chapters, go to the summits, I would definitely become a member of Sharebird, learn from the AMAs. I would check out um, oh my gosh, what is it called? I think it's called like PMM Ops, which has all the free resources in product marketing. So that's a really good resource. Take the free certifications that you can. So Pendo has some free ones, HubSpot, um, et cetera. I think PLG org has some, et cetera. So take like free certs. Um, read as much as possible. There's a ton of books. Follow thought leaders, Yulin Pei, Jason Oakley, Tamara Gominsky, et cetera. So I think I'd start more with kind of what education already exists, what books exist, what courses exist. If you really want to take a paid course, obviously there's Product Marketing Alliance. I've also heard really good things about the Excel course. I haven't taken it myself, but I've heard good things. But yeah, I would start there.
Perfect. Yes. My next question to you is you're doing an amazing job running a company by yourself. What is your most and your least favorite part of that job, just the day to day of a founder?
Um, that's a good question. Let me think about that. So I think the my favorite part is maybe a little cliche, but um, just making a massive impact on a startup in a short time. It's just really rewarding when everything clicks and you go in and you work with a cross-functional team and you're co-creating, positioning or a sales pitch deck or pricing and packaging, and you see like pretty much immediately or within a few short months, kind of the incredible impact it has on a business. Um, so I think that, and then the other cliche answer is just variety of projects and industries, right? So working in everything from like veterinary tech, which I never would have considered working into, data privacy to cybersecurity to fintech, et cetera. Like just a variety of industries and kind of projects is really cool. And then I think you said least favorite part, right? Yeah. Okay. Least favorite part is probably the admin work. So like just being honest, like it can be pretty tedious to create proposals, to follow up with prospects, send contracts, send invoices, send payments. That kind of thing is just, it's just busy work. So that's uh that's a little bit tedious for sure.
Yeah. Uh, just in addition to that, like you mentioned that you work with a lot of different industries and a lot of different people. There's a lot of chatter about AI in product marketing and like people having a lot of opinions on it, right? Uh, while no one knows like what's right, what's wrong. But what do you think from your perspective that people are getting wrong about this entire thing? And how do you sort of like see this evolve, just the usage of AI in like the day-to-day work that we do as PMMs?
What an interesting question. I feel like most people ask, how do you leverage AI versus what are people getting wrong? So that's really cool. I haven't been asked that before. Um, I think it's kind of illogical how some companies are trying to use AI to automate qualitative customer research. Um, that's always been kind of confusing to me. I think it's cropped up in the last like year and a half, at least on my radar. Um, to me, qualitative customer research is kind of the foundation of excellent product marketing. So, like, even if I could automate it all, I would never want to. Um, so I think that's kind of what folks are getting wrong as far as um, second part of your question in terms of like what AI use cases are hot. I've heard a ton. I've used it personally for competitive intel. I heard from another product marketer that used it for pricing and packaging analysis. I've used it for pulling insight from customer feedback. So not conducting the customer research, but once I have the transcripts or the notes, kind of parsing through that. Um, Slicing and dicing CRM data is a common one. Doing A/B testing, uh, creating presentations, creating content, so on and so forth. The list really goes on and on. I think I have a few posts about this in the last month that talk about different use cases that different product marketers mentioned. Um, and then Michelle Nierenberg is doing an incredible job talking about AI. So definitely recommend if you're a product marketer, follow her.
Perfect. That's nice. Thanks for this. That's nice. Very nice shout out. I mean, I love her content as well. On that note, what is your PMM hot take like? Because you love to post so much online, and we always talk about like the hot takes and the warm takes. But I would love to hear like what is that one burning opinion that you have?
I think that advertising should be among the last, not the first go-to-market channels that startups invest in.
Wow, that was really short and fun. And but yeah, for sure. Like I think we are also moving into a place where I personally feel like organic content is going to take over, and that will be like the test of how what kind of marketing that you do, whether you do like your audience likes it or not. So that's nice. My last question to you here is, what is that one non-work thing that you've done that you think that it has really helped you as a founder, as a PMM? Um, any anecdotes, any interesting incidents that you can think of?
So I think the one that's probably the most applicable is kind of kind of a combination of two, but traveling and eating different foods. So in college, I studied abroad in Australia, but beyond that, I've traveled to most continents, not Antarctica, um, but I've been all over, and I've been lucky enough to meet a ton of different people with really different perspectives, who speak different languages, who use different analogies, which if you speak different languages, it's really cool to like the analogies are completely different. You try to explain an analogy and like, for example, I speak Spanish, right? In Spanish and English, and people are like, that doesn't really make sense, right? Um, and a really like just to make that really concrete, like the really concrete example is when you have to explain what a food tastes to someone that's never had it before, like that's really tough. So a really common one, and I don't know if you're familiar with this or not, but for my like my cultural background, a lot of my family, like extended family, has never had peanut butter. So when they come to the US to visit, or when we take them, if we, I mean, I guess I've never taken peanut butter, but when they come to visit, and you have to explain what peanut butter tastes like, it's really hard. Like seriously, like go talk to someone who's never had peanut butter. How do you even begin to explain it? Like, sure, you can talk about its consistency, right? It's like very viscous. You can talk about how to eat it. You put it on apples or you put it in a sandwich, etc. Or, it's a base of many sauces. Fair enough. But the actual taste, like how do you explain it? It's really hard. So I think for me, travel plus food, and just speaking different languages and understanding how people think, um, has made me more empathetic. It's made me more open-minded, and it's made me just a better communicator.
I think you should write something about the peanut butter theory. It's like if you can explain peanut butter to somebody that has never had it, and then like it, because like as PMMs, that's what we do, right? Like we have
Right.
to explain like random features that we are also trying to understand, and then first understand it and then explain it to the audience. And yeah, it's a really good benchmark. I never thought of it this way. Maybe I should meet someone that hasn't had peanut butter and try to have this exercise with them.
Yeah, I mean, any food that you're familiar with that the people you're talking to aren't, try to explain it, and if there are ingredients that they've never heard of, that's when it becomes tough. It's really easy to say like, oh, like in American culture, right? If you're talking about a pasta dish that someone's never had, that's
Yeah.
very easy because you can talk about the butter, the cream, the tomatoes, like they're familiar with the ingredients. But if you're coming from a different cultural background, for example, like when I went to Brazil, there's fruits there that I've never heard of that
Hmm.
I'm just like I've just never encountered in my life. And someone tries to explain what they taste like, and it's like they're like, well, it's not really like an orange, and it's not really like a banana. It's sort of in between. And you're like, well, what does that even mean? Like that you have no, but seriously, you have no context, right? Um,
Yeah.
so it's kind of tough. So yeah, I think those are kind of the most fun and kind of most delicious usually experiences. So
I love that. I love that. I think the peanut butter theory is going to be the next viral thing. I can predict that. That's my hot take. Lastly, like before we wrap up, what is that your advice for anyone that's listening to this? Um, Mostly in terms of like PMM, because we're going through a tough time and we're seeing like a lot of layoffs happening, and even though companies are hiring, we know that it's a really tough time, and we want to like extend our best help to everyone that's like been going through it. um, any advice? Any last words? Yeah.
yeah, and it's funny, I just posted about this today, so it's top of mind. But I think product marketers need to look beyond kind of traditional responsibilities of like ICP, personas, positioning, messaging, product launches, etc. I think so much of what we do exists in these like predetermined like buckets. And I think we need to move beyond them and think about kind of overall go-to-market strategy. So things like, how do we make a bigger dent in the market? What strategic partners are going to get us instant distribution? Um, Are there communities that give us direct access to our ICP that we can partner with? How do we empower our customers to be our loudest advocates? So on and so forth. I think that's where we get the true value unlock. Right now, it feels like, if there are any NBA fans watching this, right? All NBA players are fantastic basketball players. Like that's just by definition they are, right? They can dribble, they can shoot, they can pass, they know drills, etc. But what separates the elite from I mean, they're all elite, but what separates the top 1% from everyone else is basketball IQ. So they know how to put it all together and say, oh, well, I know that based on X, Y, and Z, the basketball is going to end up in this person's hands. And I know that this defender is going to do this. And I know that this offensive player is going to do that. So I'm going to block here. Michael Jordan is famous for that, LeBron James, Kobe, etc. So I think when you have that to me, like that basketball IQ is the perfect analogy for go to market. When you can put all the pieces together, all these insights from customers, from the market, from the product that product marketing has, when you can pull those together and actually use those to drive your go to market, that's when you've unlocked the next level of product marketing in my mind and the next level of go to market for the company. And that's when you can be more indispensable, you can prove your impact, you're less susceptible to layoffs, you're more likely to get promoted, you're a better cross-functional team player, etc. Like that's when you elevate the conversation and you go and have these conversations with leadership and C-suite versus internally or with the cross-functional team. So I think that's kind of the big shift. Then the big advice that I would give for product marketers that are in-house seats is like take that next step, take that product marketing knowledge and that insight and expertise to the next level, and really try to impact your business in that kind of way.
That was really helpful, and the NBA analogy I think was wonderful. Thank you so much. It was lovely having you and all the insights that you brought in. It was really short, and I loved that like you could bring in so much of wisdom, uh, in just like a short episode. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Really enjoyed it. Insightful question.